This is Matt with remove-malware.com, and tonight I'm going to go ahead and start working on my Comodo Internet Security review. That would be for version 3.8.65951.477. Just released the other day, the 26th. Comodo has made plenty of changes since version 3.8 came out on the 12th. They've made a lot of big fixes, so it kind of leaves me wondering what other big fixes are left out there. But a lot of the issues I had when I first tested Comodo on the 12th have been resolved. So, in case you don't know what Comodo Internet Security is, it is antivirus, anti-spyware, a little bit of anti-adware. It's a firewall, one of the best software firewalls out there. It also has a HIPS product that is just top notch called Defense Plus. Really, once you get good with identifying malware and using Defense Plus is all you really need. But the antivirus is always welcome. Anyway, if you go to Comodo, go to the Comodo website, and you want to see what changes they've made to it, look down here. It says update. Please see the latest release notes. I'm not going to read through all these because that's a bore, but you can see they've made plenty of huge upgrades. Some of the big ones would be they now have buffer overflow prevention. They've added heuristics, and they're not all the way complete yet, but they're working on them. They've added a lot of improved the ability to recognize when a software vendor is a whitelisted vendor automatically. I don't know how they're doing that, but and they've really worked on the AV engine. I know that. I've seen that through all my tests. So anyway, I've got it downloaded, and what I have here is a PC with I'd say close to 1,000 or over 1,000 pieces of malware on there. I'm not even sure anymore. It just downloads a ton of stuff. And the whole goal of this review is to see how well Comodo Internet Security 3.8 cleans up this machine. And I kind of want to show you how to use some of the features of Comodo. Now, I've already reviewed 3.5, and not really much has changed for the average user that you can see or that you're really going to pay attention to from day to day. It's kind of all behind the scenes stuff. They are huge upgrades, but nothing like a new tab or a new application inside of Comodo, nothing like that. And that's fine. I mean, this is a solid suite, and it's free. My only complaint with it is my complaint with every application, anti-adware. Adware is the largest piece of the pie out there as in malware, and it's really hard to track down and nail down, and a lot of people just can't do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and install Comodo with default options. Lots of people have asked me why don't I have graphics in my videos and all that stuff. I just want to show you what works and what doesn't, and I'm not here to show you all kinds of flashy stuff. If you're curious if a product will actually help you remove malware or prevent malware, that's what I'm all about. And I don't have time for all that stuff as well. I have a lot of customers recently because a lot, far too much of the malware out there now is they're installing rootkits with every single rogue that gets installed these days. It seems like there's a rootkit to go along with it. People can't even install antivirus, scan. I have a lot of customers going out and they buy antivirus and they can't even get it installed because the rootkit prevents it. So I've been really busy taking care of all this stuff. And then One thing that's hosed me up this week would be malware that is actually damaging the operating system. And that is just a bear to deal with. Okay, gonna go ahead and pause the machine here real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Um, where was I? Comodo wants to restart the computer. Now, on a computer that is this infected, I don't want to be bombarded with a bunch of antivirus windows. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Comodo. It's not actively protecting my computer right now. It will be when I reboot. I'm going to go to antivirus, go to my scanner settings, and just automatically quarantine anything it finds. And then I'm going to go ahead and restart the computer now. And I'll pause the video while the computer's restarting. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And the scene you're seeing in front of me is just all-out war, basically. You've got Comodo quarantining live threats just constantly down here. And it's asking to restart my computer, but I can't do that right now. I will do it later, but not yet. So at this point, we're just kind of letting Comodo work through some stuff. There's a couple things I want to say about the Comodo team or community. They're probably the most active community and most helpful community I've seen. They constantly come to my blog and my forums, and they're really helpful to anybody who has a question regarding Comodo. So anyway, you can see all of these rogues down here and all of these fake alerts. It just gets crazy. So what I like to do when I encounter a machine that's disinfected, I'll go ahead and take out maybe a dozen, and then I'll just go ahead and reboot, and I'll just keep doing this process over and over again. So the threat gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and just becomes more manageable. And you just do this in layers, just constantly, taking it down a little bit, taking it down a little bit, and before you know it, you're able to actually use the computer and get rid of the infection completely. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot, and I'll be right back. Okay, the PC's starting back up. At this point, nothing's really started down here, and now we're starting to get some of our fake alerts. And during this phase, what I'll do is I'll open up Comodo, and I'm going to use the Defense Plus module, and I'm going to designate a series of folders to be blocked by the system, by malware. Anything that touches it, basically, it just can't get to it. So it effectively is locked in a prison, unable to do anything. And once I do that, I'll go ahead and reboot. And when I do, you'll see all those threats are just gone. All of this stuff down here, with the exception of maybe some of these fake alerts, I'll have to get rid of those manually. Those are gone on the next reboot. So Defense Plus is by far my favorite module. I love using sandboxing software, and I love using HIP software. Probably because I'm just so used to identifying malware just by looking at a file. Actually, I'm going to make a video coming up, and I'm going to show you guys how to identify malware and what to do when you find it. It's nothing drastically hard. It's just I don't know if a lot of people know about it or not. So right now the screen is kind of frozen. Oh, here comes everything. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to Defense Plus as soon as I can here. You can see my hourglass. There's a little bit less down here. There's not as many antivirus alerts, that's for sure. I realize some of these, some parts of these videos can be boring, but this is what you're actually going to see if you try to help like a family member out that's really infected, or you're got your own little business and you're going out helping people with their computers and you choose Comodo. There's just a whole bunch of things that you may see. And this is kind of one of them. You know, when everything's kind of starting up, you gotta wait. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. I'll be right back. Okay, let's go ahead and head over to the Defense Plus module. And what I'm going to do is I like to use this right here, My Blocked Files. So Defense Plus allows users to lock down files and folders specified in this section by denying all access to them. So they are effectively in a prison and they're unable to do anything. And this is the part I love. You can choose file groups. I usually never do. What I use running processes and browse. So what I'm going to do is browse to a series of folders that I know are just fake, and they're usually just rogue software. And the rogue software eats up RAM like crazy. And I'm just going to go ahead and start adding some of these. And all of this is just adware. And we're just going to lock down stuff. This is a real quick way to just put an end to the adware. One little thing I wish they could do would add like a shift function so I could just shift click and select all those guys. That'd be awesome. I realize not a lot of people have as much malware as I do on this test system, so no biggie. And that's it. Those files upon the next reboot are as good as dead. I'll restart. And I'll pause the video, be right back. Okay, PC's starting up now. There's a couple of beeps going on right now. No, you can't hear those. And keep in mind, I haven't even done a full antivirus scan yet either. So we have a whole bunch of windows of basically malware that could not be found. And that's from Defense Plus, just locking those down. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my network card. And I'd also like to point out the fact that you barely see anything down here now. It's just Comodo items, some other items, and that's it. That are just legitimate stuff. I've just turned on my network card. And I'm going to go ahead and run Defense Plus again, but this time I'm going to go to My Blocked Files, and we're going to go to Running Processes. And let's take a look at if we see anything here. Reg server 32 does not need to run right now. I can go ahead and block that. And we've still got some viruses. It's finding them, quarantining them. Nothing else in the processes. Internet Explorer is running. That tells me there is indeed malware on the system still. So what I can do is I can head over to my firewall, and I can take a look at my active connections, and I can see the Comodo Firewall is awesome because it says this Internet Explorer is basically communicating with these malware-based sites. And what these sites are doing is they're probably basically this malware is calling home. It's remoting home, and these are the IP addresses right here that are basically malicious servers. Don't know if they're active or not, but Comodo allows me to terminate a connection, which is awesome and easy. You just right click on it and terminate a connection. So actually what I'm going to do is, since Internet Explorer is such a way for these pieces of malware to communicate, I'm going to go ahead and just block Internet Explorer. And I can use Firefox instead. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up Comodo again, and let's do a check for update. Okay. Unable to check for updates right now, so hang on. I don't know if Comodo is using Internet Explorer to get out. I may have to remove it out of my blocked files. I've never tried that before, but I thought, well, let me go ahead. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's go ahead and open up Comodo again. Let's go to antivirus and try to do a update. Okay, we're actually downloading our update now. So I'd also like to point out another thing here. I was really complaining on my site, well, pointing it out, let's say, that Comodo, no matter what I do, Comodo would use 100% of the CPU. That issue's been fixed, by the way, in case anybody who knows what I posted is listening. That issue's good. So what I need to do now, I'm going to go ahead and update, and I'm going to do a full scan. And when we come back, take a look at the results. It's probably going to be a few hours later because I actually have a customer I need to take care of now. A late appointment that I wasn't expecting, but you know, gotta take care of people. So anyway, let's get this updated. And keep in mind, this machine is basically running great because of Defense Plus. And Comodo has their own little pop-up here. If you want to go ahead and buy the Pro version, you can receive expert support technicians available 24/7 to help you with all your computer needs. I've never tried the Pro service. I guess I don't really need to right now. So anyway, I'm babbling. Let's go ahead and run a full scan. My computer. Scan. So it's running, and you can see it found a threat so far. 1 threat, 3 threats, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15. It's going on. It's finding a lot of stuff now. So we're going to let this run. I'll be back in a few hours. Finish up this review. It's kind of a long one. I really want to try to do the Comodo community justice, and this program is awesome and it's free, and I really want to try to make it a good review. So I'll be right back for you guys. Okay, guys, I'm back, and that scan took 11 minutes and found 128 threats. So if I click results, I can see all of these guys are pre-checked for me right over here. And over here, it tells you what the threat name is. So going down the list, you can see all that stuff. And then I can just say quarantine. Now, some people ask me why quarantine and why do I just not remove them? Um, I've been on 2 jobs where I quarantined some malware, and the customer system was not functional at all. So I had to unquarantine it and re-quarantine it with a different product. So you always want to have the stuff on hand in case you need to restore it. So I'm going to go ahead and quarantine. Okay, all that stuff's been quarantined. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a reboot just to make sure nothing's left in memory. Let's go ahead and restart. Okay, I'm back. And as soon as I booted up, this came up. It says Comodo Firewall Alert. Application. Hacker.com.cn.exe is trying to communicate with this IP address over port 80. Comodo has something called a Threatcast rating, and Threatcast allows you to see what other users have done. Did they block it? Did they allow it? But what I find most of the time, right now, this is new. There's no Threatcast rating available. So I'm going to be the first guy to rate this, and I'm going to go ahead and say block this request, remember my answer, and hit OK. Alright, let's go ahead and fire up Comodo, and let's take a look at my outbound connections. So I'm no pro at looking at outbound connections, but I can tell that there is no Internet Explorer, and there is no other application that looks like hacker.com.cn.exe loaded here. So it looks somewhat normal to me. All right. So let's go ahead and test out our web browser. Now, if you remember from what I did earlier, I just kind of put Internet Explorer in the My Blocked files. Um, I did that because so many pieces of malware use Internet Explorer to connect up to the internet and retrieve instructions for different bots and things like that. So we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we can hit 4 or 5 popular sites through Firefox without getting redirected via some adware. The PC is a little slow because it just started up. Shouldn't be that slow though. Let's make sure I don't have any kind of issue going on here. Yeah, it looks like I do. My CPU is at 100%. And let's see what that is. So unfortunately, it looks like my CPU problem is back again. If I turn off the Comodo antivirus, let's see. Nope, that doesn't do anything. CPU still at 100%. Alright, I'm going to pause the machine and check this out. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Not really sure what happened there. I guess it was just a fluke because the CPU calmed down. I'm at 10%, 5% now, so just normal stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and go to some websites. Actually, let's go look up some stuff that gets redirected a lot. We'll type up free antivirus. And if I click on the link, free.avg.com, I can actually get to the real free Avg site. If I look for pctools.com, I can get there as well. If I look up Facebook, I'm able to get it to Facebook. Same thing for, let's go to Google. MySpace. Okay, I can go ahead and get to MySpace just fine as well. If I tried to load Internet Explorer, you can see that Windows cannot access this file. If I took the file out of Defense Plus, if I needed to use it again, and I said purge, or I'm sorry, remove, I can go ahead and open up Internet Explorer now. So that's how Defense Plus works. It totally kills the program, locks it out. Nothing is going to use it. It's not going to use anything. Now, Internet Explorer is totally compromised. It's filled with adware still. You know, if I try to go to Google, I get redirected to browser-security.microsoft.com. Still a lot of adware on this PC. Um, and Comodo can't take care of every piece of adware. Um, this would be a nice little fit for a program that we all know, and that would be AdAware. Uh, and I plan on doing a review on AdAware next because of the adware that is left on this PC. Um, After doing a full scan, there's still some adware on there. And how do I know that? Like I said, if I try to go to google.com and I search for free antivirus and I click on a link, I'm redirected to browser-security.microsoft.com. If I try to click on any other link down here, let's see, these are all paid type link things. I probably can't get to anything. If I look for AVG, these are all paid links. So somebody on the other end is getting paid, except for this one. And I get redirected again. So there's a lot of adware left on this PC. Let's open up Comodo again. And let's go to our firewall and check out our connections. I don't see Internet Explorer using anything right now, but I'm willing to bet that if I reboot, I'll see some piece of malware trying to talk on port 80 to some remote port. So let's reboot real quick. Okay, I just rebooted, and what do you know? Internet Explorer launching on its own. Obviously, we still have a little bit of malware left on this guy. And I could track it down manually and block it with Defense Plus, but I don't have time for that in this review. I just want to kind of reiterate that Comodo is perfectly capable of blocking anything. Sometimes you have to find it manually, though. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop this review right now. Um, my personal opinion about Comodo Internet Security, I love it. I love Defense Plus, my blocked files. You can, you know, if you're able to find the malware yourself, you can block anything you want. Um, What they need to do is improve the antivirus, really look at the anti-adware, just like everybody. The firewall module is awesome and just pretty much polished. I have no problems with Defense Plus. If you can find a file that's malicious, you can block it. Doesn't matter what it is. You just add it to my blocked files, reboot, and it's as good as gone. Um, Also, in my blocked files, you can go ahead and delete a file. So I could say this file is blocked from doing anything, but I want to get it off my computer. I could say delete file, and that would delete 2000 antivirus 2009 from my hard drive. Now, what you can't hear is my hard drive crunching and stuff right now all of a sudden, so it should be removing it. And doesn't look like it removed it, but I haven't had trouble with that before. Maybe it doesn't remove folders. Maybe I'm just thinking of files. Let me go down to a file down here. Delete file. Yeah, that's a bummer. I wish they could delete folders. Oh well, maybe they'll put that in for me next time. Anyway, that's it for the Comodo 3.8 detection and removal test, if you want to call it that. Um, anyway, I'm moving on to Adaware since I get a request for that every single day. That's coming up next with the Comodo Internet Security Suite as my antivirus, and we're going to add adware to take care of all the adware on this computer. Alright, guys, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. See ya.